Jiminy Crickets!
Aaron, just turn. Listen, we want to watch you paint. Just turn off all your lights. You don't need to see.
Wait. Out of all the people that I care about who sees my models as they're being painted, but Josh just went into the ocean.
I'm in Thanos' throne.
Josh is in Thanos' throne. Ladies and gentlemen of the internet, welcome to the Cool Guys Nation. I was trying to convince Aaron to paint in the dark so that we could see what he was painting, even though he couldn't. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I'm checking out a new camera angle. It is just three of us tonight. It's like old times. It's like old times.
It's fancy.
We are going to be painting, and we're going to talk about some of the new GW stuff, although most of all the exciting stuff has already happened, so there's not a lot to talk about there. I am going to talk about this cool custom base that I made while painting two knights.
They're not knights.
They are dreadnoughts.
Those are Primaris dreadnoughts. You need to be specific. And also, we talked about something very big in 40K happened today. The Primarch's mommy.
First of all, before we talk about the mother of all Primarchs, what are you painting, Josh?
I'm painting Thanos.
Can't see
you can't see him. There's Thanos. And I'm painting his throne.
Cool. Aaron, what are you painting?
I'm going to finish this beast of a model that I hate so much, just to get it off my plate.
How is that not done yet?
Oh my God.
You've been complaining about that for like 4 months now.
I know. It's because I hate painting this model. But I've committed to myself to get it done before I get the Indominus boxes, because I'm going to have a whole bunch more Necrons to paint. And this one's not even for me. So that's a problem.
It's not even for you.
Agreed, it's a problem.
So, I went on GW's website, and I just wanted to make sure that they did not sell a 90 millimeter base as part of this set, right? As part of the set that came out with Gene Stealer. The biggest base that they sell is 65 millimeters. So I did not feel bad at all for going to my laser cutter and fabricating. Originally, I was trying to just take the 65 millimeter one and blow it up. And I think I'm going to be able to do that. I need to do some more work. What I really need to do is be able to I need to get a flatbed scanner, which I have. I just don't have access to at the moment. And I need a high resolution scan. And then I can recreate this as a vector, and I will actually be able to laser cut a 80 millimeter version of the Sector Mechanicus base. And I have no qualms with that, because GW, as far as I can tell, does not sell anything larger than 65 millimeters, which is super annoying.
Yeah, what's up with that?
I don't know.
Do they should sell it textured?
No.
Or they don't sell it at all?
I could not find it at all. Now, I did not check Forge World, but I did spend whatever it was, $140. I think it was $60 a box or $40 a box for 2 sets of bases, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So I went to Thingiverse, and there's a guy on Thingiverse who makes a whole bunch of sector type Mechanicus terrain, and download those files for free, and then I use his vector files to make this. And this is an 80 millimeter base that actually matches quite nicely.
It really does.
I do need to put something underneath it, as Josh points out, because it's weird that it's a little clear. Oh, maybe I could just make it elevated like it's a little platform. But whatever. It's a 90 millimeter base. I keep saying 80, but it's 90. For the Primaris Dreadnoughts, I need to make one more of them. And tonight I'm going to be painting these 2 Dreadnoughts. And then that just leaves 2 repulsors left to paint, and my Primaris army will be done.
Which is just awesome.
Which is just awesome, until, of course, I receive the new box sets.
And then that will remain in the box for 3 years until the next set.
Nope, Aaron's going to get right to work on them, and they're going to be done before your Necrons.
Okay. Challenge accepted.
That's highly unlikely that they'll be done before your
Hey Josh,
Necrons.
are we going to expect
That's for
a
sure.
how to paint Necrons video anytime soon?
Oh, it's already done, baby.
Well, he shot the video. It's not done.
That's true.
I still have to
His
edit
work
it
is
all.
done.
His work is done. Assuming I accept it. Assuming his editor.
Assuming it's good enough.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Can we get a little sneak preview? How long does it take you to paint one Necron warrior?
It wasn't a warrior, it was a cryptech, and without drying time included, it probably took about 3 minutes.
What?
There you go. 3 minutes.
And not a single brush was used. Actually, that's a lie. I duct taped a sponge that was tiny on the end of a brush so I could get in some nooks and crannies.
So technically a brush was used.
Yeah, but
A brush handle.
The brush handle.
A brush handle. You're ridiculous.
Yeah, I know.
So then the question is, then we're gonna have to speed paint all 4 boxes. We're gonna have to time you and see how long it takes you to paint all 4 boxes.
Of Necrons?
Yeah. So we'll do.
I mean, I could do it if I get it built. I can get it done in a day or 2.
No, we gotta do it faster than that.
Well, I don't. I have responsibilities.
You know what? We'll work. We'll work on those responsibilities.
All right.
We'll figure those responsibilities out.
Fair enough. So, Big Aaron, what you working on?
I'm working on this Necron.
Oh, that's
I did
right.
just finish up the Caradron Overlords war.
Yeah, why don't you show us a little bit of that? Show us a little bit of magic.
It's all in the other room. I can go take an intermission, grab it all. But that brings me up to 6 war bands for Warcry finished during Shelter in Place. So since middle of March.
Which
Nice.
you and I are the only ones who are still doing that, by the way. Just so everyone's
Sure.
clear.
And that puts me over 100 models painted since then as well.
That's very nice.
So I'm feeling pretty good about that. 6 war bands. They're just they're burning a hole in my pocket. I'm just getting antsy. I need to play them. I want to see how each one's going to fare.
So I counted as well. I have painted 20 Promethean pipes, which I don't know what the model equivalent of those are.
None.
1 tank, and 67 troops.
Very nice, dude.
That's where I've been at. Wow,
That is cool.
I forgot how bad the Citadel Air Lead Belcher is.
Ugh, why'd you even bother getting their air paints?
Well, I got it when it first came out, and I'm unfortunately out of Lead Belcher. So
Here, I have 2 pots of Lead Belcher and accidentally got 2 pots of Stormhold Silver.
I need 2
doesn't
Lead
help.
Belcher,
Go
too.
ahead and take it. Here, take it.
Look at this.
I'm taking it.
Look at how nice this contrast paint does for this gold. So good. So good.
That does look like a pretty decent gold.
It's really great. I love it.
So they didn't bring out a contrast paint for Necrons, or there's like 3.
There's the technical paint that is for Necrons.
Well, it looks like the other ones are as well. There's like a kind of a bronzy base, it looks like.
Yeah, I guess that counts, but not really, because I think that paint scheme is doo-doo.
I also opened the Necron compound as an emergency backup.
For your silver,
Yeah.
it's the dry silver.
Oh, you got the dry brush paints too? I'm really starting to question your paint.
I don't know what questioning. I can just turn the camera. I have the whole GW box. I bought the box.
Bought it all.
You see this box? So
Yeah, that's
How many of them are dried out already? That's
None.
the question.
None actually.
Is that because you haven't opened them?
No, they do. I don't like. Here. I'll teach everybody. Here, let me teach everybody something.
Okay.
Ready? I'm gonna educate the world.
Ooh, education.
You can see it right here with these 2. I'm gonna use this camera though. So you'll notice that the bottle on the left is not closed properly all the way, and that's because it gets paint stuck in the edge right back here. And in order to close it, you have to open it, and you have to take that paint out of the back, and then you have to make sure that it's 100% closed all the way around. If your paint is 100% closed all the way around, I have never had a GW paint go bad, with the exception of the paint that I left in a garage for 2 years that froze through 2 different winters. Those are the only GW paints I've ever lost. And I can demonstrate proof of that because I still use this blue. Can you identify how old this blue is?
It's not that old.
This is old.
I'll show you some old
This is
GW
super
paint.
old.
You want to challenge me to find older paint? I got it.
I'm just saying I didn't say I have the oldest paint. I'm just saying I have a pot of old paint that's perfectly
old
fine.
Paint pots are better than their new paint pots. That's the problem.
You just gotta close them right. That's it. The back of the paint doesn't close all the way. When it doesn't close all the way, it dries out.
The dry brush paints, complete disaster. I've opened ones straight out of a store, and it's a store that stocks GW stuff regularly, so I doubt it was sitting on a shelf for 3 years. Open it straight up, and it was just a block of foam.
I mean,
it did not work
I
at
feel
all.
like, I use the dry brush paints all the time, and the whole point is that they're dry. You just dab your brush on top of them, and then they get paint on the brush, and it seems to work.
They get to a point where it's literally just a block that acrylics don't rub off. Like, it's just a block of plastic.
If you say so. It's
I
never
am
happened.
so.
Never happened to me.
Okay.
All
Well,
right.
Now,
Any viewers, who do you agree with? Do you agree with me that GW makes crappy pots, and with Aaron, Big Aaron, that the dry suck? Or
listen,
do you agree with
I didn't say
Will
that there
Aaron?
aren't better ways to do it. I'm not arguing that
is.
GW pots are the best pots. I'm just saying if you close them properly by making sure that back rim gets all the way closed, I have not had a pot go bad on me. That's just my own personal experience.
Okay, well, what's up, Shivin? Well, what is up, my dudes? Where were you that in 1998 the Citadel dry brush paint threw mankind off the Hell in a Cell onto the Spanish announcer table? And he didn't actually say dry brush paint. I might have added that. He said Undertaker.
I can't stand that.
Dude, the
pot.
Undertaker's retiring, right? After like 300 years?
He hasn't retired yet?
No! He's like retiring, like in the process, I think.
Wait,
In the process of retiring.
which Undertaker?
The Undertaker.
For like wrestling?
Yeah.
No, not for like wrestling.
I could not imagine that the Undertaker from wrestling would still be wrestling.
Yes, he's old as dirt and he still wrestles.
That's good for him.
Good on you.
Imagine
Good
what
on
his
you.
body feels like. He has to be in constant pain.
Yeah.
That
sure-
is insane.
I'm sure it's fine.
He just falls asleep on his pillow made of money, though.
Shivan fights the good fight over here and says that he transfers all his GW paints to dropper bottles.
Oh
That-
man,
I have
you
a
are
lot of
hardcore.
admiration. Yeah.
I think I love dropper bottles. The only thing
I
the only thing I don't like about dropper bottles is when it's clogged and you can't tell it's clogged, and then you squirt
And
way
you
too
squirt
much
it
out.
everywhere.
Yeah,
Or it explodes everywhere.
that's
Still better than tipping over a GW pot.
It's true.
I think I had a nightmare the other night about tipping over a GW pot.
Wow, that was a great response. Ha! Ha! That happened, huh? Ha!
I mean, it is scary.
You know what I like?
Do you like Thanos' throne?
I like airbrush paint that is just like already so perfect and silky smoothy and ready to go.
Yeah, I
Silky
do
smoothie.
too. It's like not like a good cost investment though. If you want to buy like wet paints, because you could just add some thinner and it would be technically cheaper, but it's so much more convenient to have it ready to go.
And it's also why I don't understand dry brush paint. I mean, just take some out, and instead of putting it on your palette, just put it on a. Well, I always use tissue paper, not tissue paper. Paper towel, yeah, as my base, and I just put a little bit on there, just so it starts wicking out some of the moisture, and then just use that straight as my air or dry brush.
Yeah, I don't understand the dry brush paint line at all. Other than, I mean, I use it. I also don't understand the edge line paints either.
They're just called edge.
No,
Yeah,
they're different. They're thicker. They're in between the
Base
dry
and layer.
brush paint and the layer and the base and the layer paint. Yeah.
Look, most GW just has two consistencies: wet or completely rock hard dry. Usable and unusable completely.
You guys are
That's
so,
my
You're
experience.
so harsh.
Yeah, I am. But that's why I get
critic.
all the ladies. So.
Or just one.
Oh yeah, that's true. Just one. One great one though, so it's all right. Thank you, honey. I'm sure you're not watching, but
someone's not streaming next week.
Uh-oh, Aaron, you didn't send Shivan the Discord link? And he's the ephemeral stern.
Oh, no.
Topless and pantless. Is this another weeb thing?
Oh, no.
I think it's another weeb thing.
Look at that.
Okay, well, I will send it to you.
I don't show him. There you go.
Put it. Just turn your stupid background off, and then you'll be able to show it.
No, I want it. There we go. No, there he is. He's gold.
He's gold.
He's gold.
Yeah, I don't know why the Patreon is not automatically sending the stupid invite. It's really frustrating.
Well, I almost washed my paintbrush in my pop.
And that's why you get a paint water cup.
Available at coolguysnation.com. Buy your paint water, not paint water cups. And if you want, we can even add a special edition one that's just for metal paints, signed by Big Aaron himself.
Yep, it is a limited edition. You can see my fancy handwork. That's right.
Metal!
I am a professional.
It reminds me of Tenacious D.
Does it?
Yeah.
Yeah, what faction of 40K did they play?
All of them.
Ooh, I mean, if I had that Tenacious D money, you would better look out. I'd have all the armies.
Look out! Oh, man. What else? What do we got to talk about, guys, other than me eating some nuts out of a bowl?
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, Josh, I really want to hear this full story of the new lore. This is really important stuff, folks. Beep, 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 beep. Breaking news.
Breaking news. Spoiler alert, turn off this program for a moment or mute me. There is a new 40K lore that is just wackadoodle. You guys ready for this?
I'm ready.
First of all, where did you find this out from?
Okay. This is from Saturnine, a novel, and this novel is the 4th novel of the Siege of Terra series. I have to see. Let me look and see if I can find a little more information about when it came out and such.
This isn't part of the Black Library releases coming out in early August, because I saw that's coming. There's a whole bunch of books coming.
Well, this one was expected release date the 21st, but anyways, it's out. And it came out, and people were very interested to read something about a person named Erda. Now, Erda is a perpetual. That's one of the people that are like the Empire that just kind of like live forever. I'm not going to read the whole stuff on that.
Where do perpetual people come from?
Okay, so there's like all the souls of shamans and healers and stuff. They've all their souls combined to make these perpetuals. I don't know. That's the story, I guess. Okay. Or I just made it up, but I think that's the one. If you really want me to read the perpetual thing, I will.
I don't. I absolutely do not want you to read the perpetual thing.
All right. Well, I'm just going to read this one thing.
That's
an immortal human.
Gotcha.
They can be natural born or created. Okay. Next. All right. Erda is another perpetual that we've never seen before, and apparently, she met the Emperor in Terra's ancient past when he was a warlord. And then they're really cool and hung out throughout the Emperor's takeover of the planet and past that. And then Erda began to work to try to create artificial perpetuals to make sure his plan to take over the universe would happen. And Erda and another person helped with him. She was apparently a geneticist that helped, but he also required her rare gene stock for the Primarchs to be born. Looks like they combined her genes and the Emperor's to create the Primarchs. So the Primarchs have a papa and a mama now, and Erda was prevented from taking part in their lives was to be prevented from taking part in their lives as the Emperor prepared for the Great Crusade. She was angry, and while they were still infants, Erda caused the creation of a warp vortex, which was the thing that scattered the Primarchs through the galaxy and then went into hiding.
She created a vortex, swooped up everyone, kind of like the movie Twister. The Primarchs were thrown like cows through the sky,
That's
uh,
right.
and
Through
across the
space. Yes, through space, actually.
Well, I mean, yeah, okay.
So that is your new 40K lore. There is a person that just appeared and is a woman whose genes were used to create the Primarchs.
Well, I'm glad that they are involving a woman now. I mean, that makes sense, right?
It's just interesting that they chose to, after decades, to add this interesting little twist on things.
Well, I think they're starting to realize that all their stories can't be about blonde-haired white guys.
What? Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Turns out.
Anyways, so that's the thing, and there's a lot of people that have burned butts from that.
Why are they upset about it?
Take a guess.
Because there's a toxic masculinity that runs through things.
Just literally because a woman is involved, they're upset. People are upset about that.
Yeah, and because this has been injected into 40K, and then you've got people that are like, this is just dumb and I don't like it. And so the two factions against it are those things. And then there's people like me that are like, that's pretty cool. I wonder where they'll take this if they go anywhere else with that. Interesting.
I just think it's a bummer that it's not like an actual, love relationship, right? Like that. I think that would be more interesting.
I think that would be a bit too far because the Emperor is kind of above those emotions.
Right. The Emperor of mankind is above the emotions of man.
That's right.
Well, right. Just like Space Marines. I mean, they're really not human. I mean, let's be real.
Right. Okay. Gotcha.
So that's that.
Well, I like it. I think that's some positivity.
Yeah, it's cool. It's interesting. I think that's a step in the right direction.
Now, do you think this Erda is going to come back into the actual, because that's all, pre-even 30K lore. So
well, it's not pre-30... Well, yeah, I guess it is pre-30K, technically. But, I don't know. I didn't read the book. I just kind of got the Cliff Notes, and I was just checking it out. So, it's just I just find it very interesting. So.
Or if we're going to see some models to reflect that story arc.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah,
I feel like they will.
You think like it would work its way into the Sisters somehow, or the Sisters of Silence or something, but...
Why is it got to be in the Sisters? Why can't she just be rolling with everyone else?
I'm just saying... Fair point.
I mean, I could see something like that because she's kind of mad at the Emperor. Something could come from that later on. I don't know.
So Dark Angel's confirmed.
Dark Angel.
So is she Chaos then?
No, I don't think so. I think she's just neutral.
Okay.
I have a suspicion that GW is going to be building out a faction or sub-faction that is more neutral. That is going to be humans. So if you remember, when they did the announcement for what will be the last Blackstone Fortress release, they said in one of the articles that it's actually going to have a much larger implication for the 40K universe once that story ends.
There's already a neutral human faction.
Who?
The Tau of Gesvara. They're for the greater good.
Yeah, I have a feeling that... so that is, I guess, one example. Maybe they'll spin them off. I just feel like there's not...
But that's not humans. That's...
No, the Gesvara are humans that have pledged loyalty to the Tau.
But a lot of people have pledged loyalty to the Tau.
Because they're smart.
Are they?
Are they? I don't know. I guess.
I mean,
if they come to your planet and say, you're going to be our buds or we're going to blow you up, I guess it's smart to be their buds.
I didn't think that was their modus operandi. I don't think they do it through fear.
Pretty sure they do sometimes.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they do sometimes as well.
But only if they're being, you know, only if the planet is being buttholes.
Oh, really? What lore did you read that in, Aaron?
I don't read lore. I'm just
exactly
just making stuff up.
Yep. Let's take story ideas from Aaron here.
I watched a video about somebody ranting that they're not fish people, that they're actually cow people. I watched that because they have hooves.
Yeah, they do have hooves.
So that everybody should stop calling them fish people.
Maybe they should be cowfish, though.
Cowfish.
Tau uses mind control.
Interesting.
They do use mind control, technically, but not on humans. The other Tau are controlled by the ethereals. They used to be... So, the thing about the Tau, here's the thing. I'll give you a little story. So, the Tau were actually encountered by the Imperium, like, I don't know, 10,000 years before present time.
So 30K universe.
Yeah, maybe even less than that. And the Tau were on a feral world, and they had no technology. Feral, whatever. They had no technology at all, and they were constantly fighting with each other. They were just basically like barbarians. And then the next time they were encountered, they basically had the most sophisticated weaponry ever created.
What happened?
So randomly, these beings called the Ethereals showed up and was like, yo, bro, stop fighting. And they're like, yeah, we should stop fighting. And then they're like, now we can use all of our power to create awesome, cool spacesuits. And then that's what they did.
So the Ethereals were like, hey, stop fighting each other and start getting people, recruiting them to fight other people instead.
Yep.
To what end?
For the greater good, baby.
Was it for the greater good, or was it to fight Nids?
I don't think it was to fight Nids.
I mean, isn't everything ultimately to fight Nids?
And Nids and Necrons and Orcs, I guess.
Yeah, in the end, it's just going to be Necrons versus Nids.
Or unless orcs become a little bit more self-aware and realize that they're the most powerful psychers in the entire...
I'm tired of talking about that. I'm tired of talking about it.
And they it's pretty much going to be Necrons versus Nids.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so. The Necrons just keep coming back, and there's nothing for the Tyranids to eat anymore from the Necrons because they're all.
But what about Chaos? They live in the warp.
Yeah, they still have to come out into physical space to do something, and if it's just full of Tyranids and Necrons, they're not going to want to chill here anymore.
I thought that the Necrons weren't able to manufacture more Necrons, though.
They're not, but they have tons and tons of sleeping tomb worlds, and they have reanimation protocols that are crazy. So,
I think you're biased because you're going to paint new Necrons.
Yeah, maybe.
How crazy can reanimation protocol get now, Josh?
I don't know. They haven't released it, so we don't know.
No more than +1 to any additional save, so...
Yeah, but rerolls of 1 and 2s from what it looks like on some of the support units.
Well, here's the thing.
Tell me the thing.
It's probably not going to be vastly different than it is already. And if it is, it's still going to be trash.
I don't think that's correct.
Well, okay, let's talk about this.
Okay.
Yeah.
They rose the price on regular Necrons.
Sure.
And
like everything else.
Like everything else, but they rose the price on it. Mm-hmm. And as far as we know, protocols are still going to be just plus or 5+. And then you have to have a model within 1 inch, and then you have to get up.
Apparently, it's really powerful and really scary if most of your unit is dead. So the way that it looks like it's working out with the 6 or 7 games that I've watched is if you lost 1 or 2 Necrons, it's not that big of a deal. But if you've lost 9 of 10, then you have a chance of just boom bringing back the entire squad all of a sudden.
Every one that you're watching right now is using the current rule set because they haven't released the new book yet. So that's how it currently works.
You think that's going to change?
It's really not that strong in the way things are going to be dying, because if you can clear out the unit, it's dead, and it's not difficult to kill a unit dead. You know, you've played my Necrons quite a few times.
Yeah.
And have you ever been afraid of reanimation protocols? Like, honestly, been afraid of it?
No.
Okay, then that's the way it's going to be right now. Okay, it's just the way it's going to be. So I apologize to all those.
Well,
people.
I think that there's a lot of character interactions that are going to start happening that are just really going to affect things, and we don't know how that's going to play out.
Yeah, I'm wondering if this is going to turn into a little bit of Hero Hammer in this edition.
Well,
I hope so.
You like Hero Hammer?
I mean, who doesn't like heroes? Oh,
lots of people want to see people in the armies actually have some interplay in what's happening.
I made a boo-boo.
Right. As opposed to just being bubble wrapped for your heroes.
Right.
Yeah, no, I do get that. I don't just want a bubble wrap around heroes, that's for sure. I'm feeling like I don't have a great plan for this model.
Why not?
Because I didn't spend a lot of time thinking about it. I was just kind of focused on the troops, and I sort of forgot about what I was going to do for the dreads.
Don't you have like a video about that, and like planning with the test models and such?
Yeah, and I did that for all of the troops.
So you didn't take your own medicine with
well,
the
I mean, I did. It's the same scheme. It's the same scheme.
Yeah, but vehicles are vehicles. That's why you always buy that $15 Rhino off of eBay, so that you can practice your scheme on big flat panels.
Well, let's just be clear. This is the third vehicle that I've painted.
Oh, then what's your problem?
That it's not looking the way that I just. You're making me.
The problem is it's not looking good.
The problem is that I'm feeling unsure about it right now. That's all.
Oh,
That's it.
Remember, every model has that point where you look at it and you're like, what did I just do? It looks like utter trash. And you always have to fight through that point because it gets better.
Okay.
So your model could just be in that it looks like utter trash phase.
It looks like utter trash, but it's not.
I mean, I don't think it actually looks like utter trash. I don't know where to add the color. Like, I have some nice splashes of yellow and blue on the tanks, and I have a nice splash of blue for this dreadnought, which is in the front plate, which I'll put on at the end. But I don't know where I'm gonna get that splash of yellow from.
How about Yellow Fist on one hand?
Oh, perfect. Perfecto.
Boom.
That did not take any time whatsoever.
Perfecto. Okay, I need to get this on so I can sponge it off.
Sponge.
Gotta move a little faster here before my contrast paint sets.
We can't let that sit.
So do you guys know if there's going to be any more pre-orders this weekend?
For what?
For 40K.
No, there won't. You want to know why?
Why?
Because they haven't announced it already.
I just figure like maybe this weekend they would do pre-orders for like Tomb King or the Void Dragon or something.
Oh, Tomb King? Don't talk to me about Tomb Kings. You're going to make me cry.
Why?
They squatted Tomb Kings.
Oh, no.
This week.
Yes.
Don't make me cry. They squatted them.
What does that mean?
It means Josh can't play his chariots anymore.
I thought Tomb Kings were done a long time ago.
No,
yeah,
they
put in
they
the
were
Legends.
they're putting in Legends now, which means that they've been retired and they're not going to put points out or update rules.
So we can play Tomb Kings versus Bretonia.
No, yeah.
Bretonians were brought back as free people.
No,
right?
No.
Well, no, those it's Empire.
Oh.
Yeah.
Come on, get your rules right.
Is Empire retired as well?
No. But it won't be far behind, so I might be putting the stuff on square bases again when that other version of the game comes out, I guess, from Forge World.
Or you could play him in King's
Ninth
War.
Age.
No, King's War.
Kings of War too, but it just makes me
That's
sad.
a bummer.
I'm just gonna play them as the
Ossiarchs?
Yeah, because I'm just like, this is the same base size, so therefore it is the same model now.
Yeah, I mean they're skeleton thick boys. I mean
they're bone boys, so They're gonna
Why does GW retire model
because
lines?
they it's a couple of reasons. So they can't really trademark Tomb Kings really because they're like
but
undead.
Does that matter? Because
yes.
I don't think it matters.
It matters 100%. That's why everything has a goofy name.
Yeah. I understand that everything has a goofy name, but what I'm saying is like when I go to the store and I'm looking at models, I'm buying models that look either. I'm buying models that look really, really, really cool. And if they have Tomb Kings, I don't care. Hold on. Shivan, you're making the chat real angry and you're making me push a lot of buttons. I don't care. You know what I mean? Like, if somebody else wants to put out a line of Tomb Kings, great. GW's models are incredible, and I want to buy them. So I'm sure if they made a new line of Tomb Kings, that they would look incredible, and that I would want to buy them. And it doesn't matter to me that they're called Tomb Kings or, sand, snake people. It doesn't matter to me, just as long as they look cool.
They did do that. That's what the Ossiarch Bone Reapers are. They're the Tomb Kings.
Yeah. Tomb Kings 2.0. Yeah. But to Josh's point, also, it's a matter of maintaining rules for models that they just don't have an interest in maybe themselves. They've done the financial maths of like, how profitable is it for us to maintain this line versus how many people are playing it.
Plus, if they were making models, those like the molds go bad
and the people don't really want to buy old models. And it's more profitable for them for people to buy new models, right? So put out the Ossiarch Bone Reapers and squat the guys that they're essentially replacing, right? And I'm wondering if we're going to.
But you could still call those part of the Tomb King army. You don't have to call them. Anyways,
what's interesting is, Josh, what are the bone guys that kind of fly? They have wings, and on the bases their feet.
Mortarks.
Weren't those originally part of Tomb Kings?
No.
They weren't, huh?
No.
What were they before? Because they've been out for a long time.
Not that long. It seems like a long time, but they're relatively new for the undead in GW land. So.
Okay.
Hold on a second.
I thought
they've been out for like 5 years, 6 years.
Yeah, that's a little bit of time.
Yeah, but I mean, Tomb Kings have been out for 20 years, so.
That is true.
I don't know. I always liked Tomb Kings. It wasn't an army that I wanted to collect, but it was an army that I enjoyed playing against.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Sure. It makes total sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Shivan's blowing up the chat here. He's looking forward to blowing up Aaron's Dreadnought. And then slapping it with a body pillow. Or wait, it needs a body pillow. And Shivan lucked out and got 3 sets of Indominus.
Whoa.
Hey.
Yeah.
So what's your eBay profile?
Yeah, how many have you sold?
What's funny is like, I bet they're gonna come out with, like a Grav Biker, like 3 weeks from now. That's just gonna be 10 times better than the bikes that are in the box.
Yeah, but it'll be a 3-wheeler. Not a biker.
Oh, so when do those other stuff? When can you order the dune buggy and the drop pod thing?
Yeah, that's why I was wondering, why wouldn't they?
It's not going to come out to the week after next. I mean, GW's got enough problems with keeping stuff in stock right now, so.
Yeah, maybe it is a logistics thing. Because it was weird. It was just like,
this is a really big drop, so.
Yeah. Well, and it was this past week. It was the Indominus box, and then some books, and.
I never saw the pre-order for the sister stuff. I actually wanted to get that limited box, and I never saw it pop up.
It sold out like right away.
I know. I checked every morning, and I didn't see it. It made me real sad. Not super bummed about it because I don't really collect them, but I thought it was a cool box.
Well, just remember, their pre-orders always go up on a Saturday.
Yeah. I know.
Oh, okay. Well, then why are you checking every day?
Because I was paranoid.
Okay.
Because I didn't see it, and I was worried that I missed it, so I just kept checking, and clearly I missed it.
You missed it.
Good thing you were paranoid.
Good thing I was paranoid. I was so paranoid I missed it.
Look at how gray. It's the grayest.
Did you paint the gray?
I'm painting the gray more brighter gray right now.
More grayer.
More grayer. Less blacker, more whiter.
So we do have another thing to talk about.
What's that?
D&D and Beyond.
Yeah.
So we have decided that we are going to start running a live Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition game.
Yeah.
And I am going to be the game master. And Josh, have you decided what sort of character you're going to play?
No, I actually wanted to talk about that today because I was able to find out that our buddy Mike, who's going to be playing his a paladin.
Okay.
And he's brand new, but it shouldn't matter. But a paladin in 5th edition can be a pretty good healer, or a tank / DPS. Like, they are pretty good all arounders.
Okay.
So I can do anything. I am getting drawn to
it should whenever
a healing class.
Whenever you hear new player is going to play an all around character who might be the healer
or tank,
that should make you worried.
It doesn't make me worried. I have faith in the Emperor.
And we're going to be playing together. It's not like we're playing a MMO and in a raid, and he forgets to hit his cleanse.
True.
And the whole group wipes.
True.
Oh, decursive was broken.
It's just he's gonna heal everybody for like 1d6. After you get attacked by a rat, and then when the dragon comes, he's gonna be like, "Oh right, I'm only allowed to do that once per day."
Look, if we're fighting rats and then you throw a dragon at us, it ain't gonna matter.
What if they're dragon rats?
It ain't gonna matter, baby. No, so I'm kind of torn. I was thinking of something. Thinking about playing a bard. I'm thinking about playing a druid, and I think it's going to be one of those two. And I've only kind of fleshed. So the bard would be a tiefling bard. Tiefling bard, because tiefling bards are awesome. But I kind of have a really cool idea for the druid.
Yeah, what's this idea?
The druid idea would be that he would be a druid that is in love with all of the darkness and gothicness that is the place that we're going to be playing. So he dresses like a vampire, and he's only going to transform into wolves and bats, and try to learn things like mistform and all that stuff. So he's a wannabe vampire. That's going to be so that's kind of a funny idea that I had.
I love that one. I think that's great. Do you have an alignment problem with tieflings? I thought tieflings had specific alignments.
Nope, tieflings can be anything.
Okay, that's good.
Have we decided and landed on an alignment?
No, my only rule is that there are no neutral alignments allowed, and that everybody has to be in the same category. So they're either all something good or something evil, and I can run it both ways. So long as we don't have a mixed party, and so long as we don't have a neutral person.
Right. Okay. I'm thinking about playing a wizard. I want to sling some spells, but it depends if we're going to change things up, because I was basing my idea on Josh being a bard. I would be a wizard, because wizards are int-based and bards are charisma, right? And so bards can be more of the face character. And I feel that it's important to have kind of a face character in the party. But if Josh changes his up, then I will just swap straight over to the sorcerer, because sorcerers are all charisma based. The main difference between wizards and sorcerers are wizards can learn a load more spells, like over 100 spells. But every morning they have to prep the number of spells that they can use for the day, and then they get to use that spell once, right?
And I believe they also need the equipment to do the spell, right? Don't they also need their stuffs?
Yeah, for some stuff, but not everything uses a reagent or some sort of icon or something like that. But yes, they sometimes do need their stuffs. And I think if they're doing rituals, which is a spell that you can cast without having to prep it in the morning, but it takes 10 minutes. So it's like you can cast basically whatever spell out of your spell book. It's just going to take longer. So you're not going to do it in the middle of combat. But sorcerers, they get to learn only a max of 15 spells. Only 8 of them are different from what wizards can take. And they can cast as many spells as they want throughout the day.
I prefer sorcerers being in the party. Sorcerers are much cleaner, in my opinion, to deal with as a DM and also as a player.
Actually, it depends on what kind of sorcerer. Because I was thinking when I was before I knew that I was not going to be the sorcerer, I looked at the sorcerer and I would totally be a chaos magic one, and then that forces lots of randomness into the party, which is awesome for me but bad for the DM.
Seems like your way to play, Josh.
Right, like I said, no neutral.
No, not
characters.
neutral. Wait, chaotic. So you're saying we could be lawful good?
You can be chaotic good. You can be chaotic good.
That Sorc can be chaotic good.
Okay. I'm definitely not going to let you play break characters. Classic characters, please. Classic characters.
All right.
Yeah, I don't need a sorcerer that's like randomly casting spells.
That's no fun.
That doesn't sound fun.
Does to me.
Okay.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Look at this.
This is gonna be great.
throne.
I'm so excited now.
Oh.
I'm so excited.
You can't tell, but it's very highlighted. Now I'm gonna watch the whole thing.
Your responsibility is to make sure it's fun for the new player. That's your responsibility.
Yeah, Shivan's right. Josh is going to be that emo kid from high school.
I am.
What do you mean gonna be?
I love werewolves and vampires. I'm a werebear today.
I think that's genius, and I think you should do that. Oh no, he fell down.
All right, since I am I actually I like the idea, so I talked about it. Maybe I'll do it. I'll make it up, see what I can come up. But look at that, all these guys are drying now. I can't do anything else.
Oh no, did he fall and get the wrong color paint on the gun? He didn't. Okay, good. Phew, everything's fine. Everything's fine.
Can you hear me chawing on my nuts?
No.
No.
Thank God.
So, Aaron, I don't think we talked about what mod we're going to play for D&D, did we?
Mm-hmm.
We didn't.
So, do you want to give that reveal?
You're welcome to.
All right, so we're going to play 5th edition. If any of you old schoolers might remember a mod called Ravenloft.
The best.
So, Shivan, yeah, we're just going to step right into the world of Twilight and just hang out with some sparkly vampires all day.
Oh my gosh, hold on a second. If I play a genasi, a water genasi, it says they always look like they just got out of the bath or a shower and are glistening all the time. So I could literally be a Twilight vampire.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I don't like that idea, but
I'm just wet all the time.
Are you squishing? Why are you squishing? So we have to decide: are we going to be roaming through and kicking some vampire butts and investigating stuff, or are we going to be on the vampire side and looking to sink some teeth into folks?
I mean, you guys, like I said, you guys are welcome to pick.
It would be
good or evil. You can do either.
It would be hard for Mike's paladin to play on the evil side.
No, you can have an evil paladin. That's not true. There's definitely.
I don't know if you can in the new book. Maybe yeah. Maybe.
Oh, I mean, I don't know if you can in the new book, but it's like you take, instead of taking healing auras, you take damaging auras, right? Like.
Well, I mean, he still has healing hands as a class feature.
True.
Or whatever. He still has to detect evil.
Well, I guess he'd have to detect good.
I think that would be too confusing for Mike starting off.
You're a paladin, but you're an anti-paladin.
You can make it work.
You're a death knight.
Oh, yeah. Basically is a anti-paladin, right?
Mm-hmm. Except also undead.
Yeah. For all those not in the aware, that is a WoW class.
Mm-hmm.
World of Warcraft.
Man, I want some nuts now.
These nuts are great.
It sounds like it. We can definitely hear you crunching with
I thought you said you couldn't hear them.
I feel like after we said we couldn't hear it, you are intentionally eating them louder and louder and louder until such time as we can hear them. That's what it feels like to me. You can't hear them? Let me crunch it louder.
I promise you, that's not true.
All right, one more nut, and then I'm gonna mute you. You're such a jerk.
Shivan turned one of his Blood Angel captains into a Twilight character, apparently, because he mixed metal mediums onto the skin colors, so it sparkles.
So he used the metal paint water with his flesh tone.
There you go, yeah.
I'm at a point where I have to let things dry. I hate being at a point where I have to let things dry.
I'm so sad that's what I'm doing too.
I guess that means I have to switch.
It means it's time for a nut break for you too, Aaron.
No,
I got one more nut.
I already gave you your last nut.
Look at all of this is just the seasoning from the nuts.
The nut seasoning?
Ooh.
Oh man. Don't breathe in right now. You're gonna get a lung full of nuts.
What kind of nuts were you eating?
I mixed it up. I had barbecue habanero almonds, and then I had salt and pepper macadamias.
That sounds great.
That does sound great.
Did any of you guys see the rules for Crusader or any of the stuff about that this week?
I have it, but I have it queued up.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I'm looking for. I want to play this with you guys. I think we could have a lot of fun. For anyone not aware, this is 40K's new narrative campaign system. They've done a lot of narrative campaign systems throughout the years. From my understanding, mostly hit or miss. Josh, have you ever seen one that you really liked in all your time playing 40Ks?
What was the question again? Sorry.
Narrative systems.
Yeah. Have there been any 40K narrative systems in any editions that you've really enjoyed?
No, but I'll be honest with you. The most narrative stuff I do with Aaron and for the channel, and we come up with cool stuff for that, but nothing really sticks other than that. So.
Okay. So I'm kind of excited. I mean, I think it's just because it seems like it's something that can be small and grow over time. There's a couple point systems within it. The examples on the site, they just kind of show building a sisters force. One thing that's kind of interesting is your power level. So you start off with like 50 power level. And Josh, you might be interested in this. That's not your force, because then you build your 50 power level, and that's basically kind of like your entire sideboard and everything. So then you go to the table and you get your objective, and it could be like a patrol detachment sort of mission, and you build a patrol detachment, which can only be 25 power level and out of your 50, and you build it that way. So you get to the table and you at least know what you're up against, which is kind of interesting.
So it's like you have an army, but you can't always deploy the full army all the time. It's almost like you're a real commander.
Right, and you take what you think is going to be best for the mission.
Now, and you're also going to run into things where the certain units will have upgrades or certain features that you receive through play.
Right. Now, do you know if it's a positive based upgrade system or a penalty based? Because I don't like narrative play that is penalty based, where when things die you lose stats. I don't like that.
No, I don't think that'll happen.
Well, so what it says is if a unit gets entirely wiped at the end of the game, you roll a d6 for that. Nothing happens on a 2-up. On a 1, there's a table that some bad stuff can happen, and they range from like -1.
See, I'm already out. To me, I'm already out. I'm done. Yeah, and I'll tell you, like, I don't know the type of personality where they're like, hey, you know what's really fun in narrative play? Things getting less powerful over time, because what happens is, like, let's say you're doing a slow grow campaign at your local store, people are learning how to play the new box set is coming out. You're making your 50 power level, right? Then what happens is you have a player who the entire time has done really well and has these super powerful units, and you have another player who's had a unit get wiped 3 times in a row and who rolled a 1 3 times in a row, and then when it comes to that, for those people to have a matchup, it's just not fun. Like, it's not fun to leave the store going, man, my favorite squad now sucks. I would rather, like, it should only get better. It should never get worse. In my opinion, for narrative.
I do agree. I see the point to kind of try and offset some of the power, because you can make things pretty powerful, and a lot of the bonuses that you can get just straight out negate the detractors, the negatives. So you start off with, like, you don't even start off with like a relic or what's the other thing leaders get? A
trait?
A trait, yeah. So you don't even start off with those, but you get points that you can use to buy those. There's a couple different points. There's like there's crusade points, and then there's also like reinforcement points or something like that, and then you still have your command points for stratagems, it sounds like. So there's a couple of extra points systems that are built into it, but that's pretty common for narrative, right? Because you want to spend, and one of the points is just basically like your XP to be able to buy more things. So and then there's ultimate objectives, like you win Crusade if you beat Chaos 10 times. That's the example that they gave in the article online.
Now, is it playing against other people? Is it playing a specific narrative thing? Like, what is it? Is it designed for slow grow at the store, or is it designed for running a campaign like in your basement?
So it sounds like a little bit of both, because you can spend one of the resource points to be able to increase your overall power level that you can use, so you can bring more things into your army, which then you can then justify or use narratively to then play, like, instead of patrol detachment, maybe you'll get to play like a 1,000-point battalion or something like that at some point.
Gotcha.
So it is made to play in the store and track your games and your campaigns. That's one of the reasons they put out that you saw that journal, so that you can record your games. Because like most narrative games, there is a little bit more bookkeeping, primarily at the end of the game when you do all your rolls for, you know, whatever extra points you get and what you can do to make your army more powerful for the next game. So that's one of the advantages if you are more of a narrative player thinking about playing Crusade. You know, you can check out that journal that they're putting out. One of the things that was interesting, and I'm assuming that they're just going to put it in the book and allow you to scan it out, but like the kind of character sheets in it, because there's a lot. Again, there's bookkeeping that you're going to have to do, and they keep showing off all these, like, oh, then you update your sheet here, and then you update your sheet there, and then don't forget to put in these points, and blah 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 blah. So you're going to need to be able to keep track of all this well. So don't go to the store with just your army and your dice. You're going to need at least a pen and some paper.
There's a new app too. Did you see that on top of the one they're releasing?
Is it for Crusade specifically?
Yeah, it's called GWXL.
Oh, I did not see that.
I'm totally joking. But you may need Excel to keep all your stuff straight.
Oh God!
I totally got you on
right into that. You did.
You were just like, "Oh, that sounds wonderful."
I was just about to go back to Warhammer Community and be like, yeah. How did I miss GWXL?
I know, me too.
I'm sure that Microsoft would let him keep that name too.
Yeah, it's a partnership.
I'm starting to get some nightmares of doing Ultramarine pivot tables.
Z lookup.
Yeah.
Well, I guess this knee pad's gonna be silver because I got a big smudge of silver on it.
Do you know what I'm doing right now, guys?
What are you doing right now?
I'm going to look to see what the Infinity Gauntlet gem color layout.
Uh-oh.
I thought he was only allowed to have 2 2 gems at any time.
Unless you're fighting with the hardcore version of him.
Yeah, so talk about that for a second.
Okay.
Talk about the 2 game modes.
With Thanos, you can use him to actually be the big bad, the cosmic encounter thing. What's cool about this is he can actually use the his minions, which are the, what is it called? The black. Oh, I can't remember what it's called. It's with Proxima Midnight and Corvus Glaive, Black Dwarf, and Ebony Maw. So you can actually summon them in game and fight with him against the hero teams.
So we're talking Marvel Crisis Protocol, and we're
right.
talking about the game variant where either you are fielding 2 teams against an essentially an AI, which would be Thanos, which can be either be done with 2 people together or by yourself.
I don't think this one has a by yourself one. That was just the one for the COVID specific stuff. Like they put it out during that time, but it was only for Ultron.
Okay, so you have to play Thanos with 2 people.
Yeah, 3 people actually.
Oh, really? 3 people.
One plays Thanos.
Wow.
And then 2 teams of Crisis fight against him.
Oh, so it doesn't have the cards, the programming cards.
It does not have the programming cards. It's just Ultron has that. That's what we were just saying.
Oh, that's a bummer. I was hoping Thanos would have programming cards.
Well, I'm sure that they could come up with them, but yeah, to start off with, it does not have it. But he does come with all of the rules and tokens for it. So unlike the other encounter, he has everything that you need that comes with it.
Guys, I wish that this army was done.
Why?
I'm just feeling that wish.
Feeling the wish.
Feeling the wish.
I wish this model was done.
Which
Josh,
one?
come over and
come
finish
on.
painting this for me.
Oh no, I missed the gem. I missed it.
What does that mean, you missed the gem?
I forgot he's got one on his thumb too.
So what's the next Marvel Crisis Protocol?
That would be Miles Morales and Gwen Stacy, I think.
Oh, I'm really excited for that.
And then Green Goblin's coming out. They
super not
basically
excited. Green Goblin's
spoiled.
stupid.
They spoiled that X-Men are coming up. Just totally baller, because everyone knows X-Men are the best men.
X-Men is baller, and Miles Morales is baller. Like, I think the more like Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is becoming more and more one of my most favorite movies of all time.
You will really like it too, because the ability, he's the leader for the spiders, and his ability is that if you are defending or holding an objective, you automatically can re-roll one of your defense dice. But if you are holding an objective or occupying whatever, if you're contesting something, you get to re-roll failures that are normally unable to be rolled.
Yeah, I don't care about, like, again, it has nothing to do with the rules. I just think that movie is one of the best movies that's ever been made, and I think he's one of the best characters to ever come out of the Marvel Universe.
Yeah, I think I was super impressed with Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah,
I really
liked it. If you're an anime fan, and if you've been an anime fan for a really long time, they do so much, like, they pay so much homage to anime throughout the decades, like in their in the anime style that they use and whatnot. Like, it's just amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
So I'm really, really excited, and I think Gwen Stacy's really good too. I bought the Gwen Stacy. I don't really like comic books, and I bought all the Gwen Stacy comic books. And then I was like, I don't care. I read like the first 3 chapters, and I was just like, yep, not for me.
Good thing you bought them all.
Yep. Well, it was an eBay purchase.
Oh, okay.
It was just a group. It wasn't like the actual comics. It was the anthologies.
Oh, okay, got you. What to do? I need to find a gold that's not this gold.
God, I love Black Templar.
Yeah,
Black Templar just does so much work.
it sure does.
Just do the work.
Why is there a yellow gem and a gold gem? I don't like that.
A yellow gem and a gold gem.
Yeah, because he already has a golden...
Hey, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Is the Tesseract supposed to be a hypercube? Is it supposed to be a fourth dimensional object?
I don't know.
What gives you that idea?
I thought that the Tesseract itself, with the stone inside of it, I thought that that the containment was a hypercube.
The Tesseract is a Power Stone.
Right. But
/gem.
Wasn't the Tesseract the cube that the Power Stone was in?
No, the Tesseract is the gem.
So what was the cube that was in the original?
That is a gem.
Right, but it wasn't the shape of a gem. It was a cube. And when it breaks and a gem comes out of it. So the gem was inside of something called the Tesseract, and I believe the Tesseract was designed to hold the gem, and that it was a hypercube, a fourth dimensional cube.
Could be, but the way I've been explained to it is that the Tesseract was the gem all along.
But then how did he break it and get an actual gem that he put in his fist?
He just he coalesced all of the energy from it into a smaller form.
He squished it.
If that's the case, that makes me sad.
You don't like the truth, huh?
No, I think the idea of having a fourth dimensional object being the containment vessel for an item of infinite power is much more interesting than him changing its shape by going to jewelry lessons. Like, he just became a jeweler really quick. Less interesting.
Jelly?
Less
Are you jelly?
You're jelly.
I am jelly.
Dude, I don't think I have enough baby poop for this this throne.
Uh-oh. Time to go make some.
Do you make your own wash?
No.
Oh.
I do sometimes.
Like mixing other washes, I do.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking about getting into inks. Should I buy some inks?
Yeah.
Why not?
What inks? I want to airbrush inks. What inks should I start with?
Just go so scale 75 sells some inks. I think that they're overpriced for the tiny little bottles. Some of the classic ones that I think that are good to start off with are the De La Rowney ones. I would recommend these. You definitely want first one to get your Payne's Gray. It is a great shading one. And then get a burnt sienna. Start with those two, or you can get one of the little box sets. There's some that come with six.
Wait, what brand? You're going too fast. What am I looking for?
De La Rowney. DAL. What does it spell again? ER. Rowney. ROWNEY.
2 words.
2 words.
Oh, yeah. I know these.
Yeah, and they're made for airbrush and for regular brush.
Oh, they also make just lots of other paint.
They do, not just inks.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
All right, guys.
What?
Check it. Check it. Look at that.
You still gotta paint the throne.
Well, the throne has got to dry, and then I'm going to paint metal, and then I'm going to purplize it.
Herbalize it.
Purplize the metal.
I like it. Can we see? Are the gems painted?
Yes, but you probably can't tell.
Hold on, I'm gonna put you, if it works.
Make Josh full screen.
I'm trying, but
don't do it. It's not worth it.
Oh, it's happening.
You're not trying to make him full screen. You're just clicking around on De La Rowney's website.
Look at that. What are you doing?
No, I'm done with De La Rowney. Ready? Transitioning. Josh, you have full screen. You are now full screen.
I'm full screen.
Your background is... There you go. Hold it right there. Perfect. It's looking good. That's pretty cool that it comes with that giant piece of terrain.
Yeah, right.
Can you throw it?
Yes, I think it's size 3 terrain.
Oh, is it really? So it's usable terrain. Now, if he's
Yeah.
standing on it, does he?
I haven't
buffs or
read the
anything?
rules for it.
You haven't read the rules.
Not for the.
Are you feeling okay?
I haven't read the rules for the throne itself. Like for
Wait, the throne itself has rules.
No. I'm saying in the scenario that it may or may not have rules.
Gotcha.
That I don't know because I haven't read it.
It should. I mean, because you paid part of the cost for that model was that giant hunk of plastic.
Dude, we're totally going to use it in 40K too because it has a blank base that goes in it. Or see right there. So then it just becomes a terrain piece.
We're definitely not using that in 40K.
I'm going to slip it into every single bat rep now.
You need to paint it gold, and then it's the golden throne.
It'll just be hidden somewhere, and you'll be like, "Is that the damn throne again?" And I'll be like, "Yes, it is."
It would work. I think it would work better in Age of Sigmar than it would in 40K.
Oh yeah, it totally would. Totally would.
Contrast paint, you're so wonderful.
I know, right? Oh, guess what? I picked up some Jumpstart packs today.
I don't know what that is.
What is a Jumpstart pack?
So Magic has these new packs that are out right now. They're called Jumpstart. And what they are is 20 card booster packs that are completely themed. So, let me see.
Oh, so if you want cats, you can get cats, or if you want knights,
they're random. So what it's designed to do is you basically buy 2 packs or whatever you want to do. Just put those 2 packs together and play. So people can you might do something like a tournament where you will.
So it's Magic Keyforge.
Kind of, except you mix it up a little bit. There's a little bit of difference in that. So I'll show you these real quick. So this one is called Witchcraft, and it has a Bog Brew Rich, a Witch of the Moors, a Witch's Cauldron, a Bubbling Cauldron, and a bunch of black cards, and then land to play this half of the deck. So you can actually buy it, and the rares are random. I think the other cards are the same, but they all work together. So I've got another one here called Dogs, and it comes with Pack Leader and Isamaru, Hound of Konda.
But did you know that it was dogs when you opened it?
No, it's random. That's why it'd be good for, like, basically it's like doing
a sealed deck.
A sealed deck, except you don't have any deck building that you need to do. You might pick from 3 out of 3 different packs. You might pick 2 to work together and play. But other than that, there's no deck building. So I got another one called Heavily Armored, and then this one's called Enchanted. The Heavily Armored, it came with a really cool guy. Here he is.
But aren't you not supposed to open them? Aren't you ruining this by opening them?
No, I wanted to see what they were in there.
Oh.
So this is this guy's really cool. It's a white creature that is X and 1 white, and then he comes into play with X/1/1 counters on him, and then you could tap him to put a counter on him, or you can tap him to remove a 1/1 counter from him and put a 1/1 counter on each other creature you control.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
It's super cool.
Super cool.
Super. So I like that. That was cool. I really enjoyed that.
Now, are these made to be played in standard or type 2 or whatever?
I don't think that they're legal for current standard. I don't know about anything else.
Oh, they're not like made from Magic 2020 or something, or
no, but there are some that come with the mythics from 2020. And they're just totally random. They come from different sets, but there's a lot of really expensive cards in it that are like really highly sought after right now. So there's like $70, $80 cards,
but only for that format.
Well, it's not just for that format. One of the biggest formats, as you know, is EDH or Commander, and they're all legal for that. So, gotcha. And they're really good Commander staples. So.
And how much is one of those packs? Like a normal Magic pack?
Anywhere from $6 to $8.
Okay. Why anywhere from 6 to 8?
Well, it depends on where you buy them and who has what in stock because they're kind of limited supply.
Oh, okay. It's not like there's different types of packs and some are in the
Right. No,
$6.
it's just like what stores got them, what they are going to charge for them and stuff, because there's no MSRP anymore. So.
Right.
But yeah, I totally think it would be hilarious to just buy a box of that and just do a bunch of random deck building. It sounds super fun. There's some that are based on unicorns and merfolk and
that sounds awesome. We should definitely
birds.
do that.
Yeah, it sounds awesome. I love doing that stuff. That's like Pack Wars, but actually being able to do real games with Pack Wars.
So you don't need it. It comes with the land that you need. You just
it
two
comes
decks.
With everything.
2 decks makes a 40 card deck.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Oh,
Yeah.
so in that 20 card pack, it's not 20 spells. It's X number of spells and some land.
Yeah. So the heavily armored one comes with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 lands, but one of them is a special land only for this set, and it's a land that comes into play tapped, and when it enters the battlefield, choose a color other than white, and then when you tap it, you can choose one white or whatever color that land is, and then whatever color you chose. So it's a duel that you get to choose the color for, which helps mana fixing because both of the halves of the deck will have another card like that.
Sure.
So, yeah, I think it's super cool. That's one of my favorite.
So
things.
is each pack no more than one color?
As far as I've seen, they're just one color. So I got 3 whites and a black pack. Didn't get any other colors. But the card I got in the witch one had a $15-$16 card in it. And then the mythic white guy that I talked to you about, he's worth like $6.
Now you said something that caught my attention. You said that land was special to that set.
Mm-hmm.
So it sounds like it's a reprint set, but there's also
there's cards only specifically to this set. And they're actually pretty cool. So I think this Patron of the Valiant is specific to this set. Supply Runners, maybe not Supply Runners. There's a couple of them that are specific to this set, and a couple of the rares are specific to the set as well. So it's really interesting.
I've been doing some weird things with our packs and releases the past couple of years. As a former hardcore Magic player, I'm kind of glad I don't play the game anymore because the completionist in me would be buying
freaking out.
Yeah, it would just be too much.
Freaking out. I know. It was already hard enough when it was like, oh, okay, so we have the core set, and then we have 3 sets before it, and we have 3 sets after, and then we're going to have the commander boxes that are going to come out, and we're going to have the master sets that are going to come out, and then we're going to have something called, the secret layer, which I have a couple boxes back over there behind me, and now it's like, it's a lot. This is just a general conversation.
Yeah.
I feel like more and more, and this isn't just true with gaming, but I feel like it's true with all corporations, that people are vying for 100% of your time, and not a portion of your time. It's like their ideal is that whatever your hobby is, or whatever you're doing, you do 100% with them, and that there is no time or room for anybody else.
And if you don't, you fall behind, right?
Right.
Yeah.
That's how I'm feeling. That's how I'm feeling. I'm feeling that way. Like, I really like the legendary run that's come out in Fallout 76, but I watched a video on the math, and even if you log in every day and complete every mission, which takes about 2 hours, you still will not finish the legendary run and get the ultimate power armor at the end. You still have to put in extra time to get experience points, which is the only repeatable quest. And like, I've been logging in every day, and I've been spending my 2 hours, and I haven't been able to finish every daily challenge and every weekly challenge. Yeah, which means that I have to put in I calculated it. It's something like an extra 24 to 50 extra hours of gameplay to get the armor at the end, which is
what is the armor?
It's a specific armor that looks like like 1950s retro sci-fi power armor.
Now, can you buy that with atoms?
No, there might be a way they might release that later on that they were talking about that you might be able to spend atoms in order to make up for it.
Mm-hmm.
But no, like right now it requires 100% of your time. I'm also feeling that way about Eve, because I play Eve as well, and I'm feeling like I'm able to less and less just casually play Eve, which stinks because I like doing that. And with the amount of miniatures that I've been painting, it feels like I'm spending 100% of my time on that as well. So I just feel like in general, like all of us are gamers that don't just do one thing, right? And I think this is true for a lot of people. You know, it's like we want to play some D&D, and we want to play Marvel, and we want to play 40K, and we want to play video games. And I'm feeling more and more punished for wanting to do things by not being 100% hardcore committed. It's like, well, do I want to continue playing Fallout 76? Because if I'm not hardcore committed, then I'm just gonna be like missing out on all of the really cool stuff that I want.
Yeah. Which is interesting because with the Fallout 76, it's not like you can dump money in right now to go get the stuff. Like you said, maybe they will, maybe they won't. But I imagine that they will, because my theory is a lot of companies, especially these game companies and whatnot, have taken a look and taken several things from the mobile game industry. Like loot boxes, currency, in-game currency that you can spend. I mean, that pretty much started with mobile games, at least in the U.S. But I think one of the big things that they learned that in relation to this topic are whales. And if anyone doesn't understand the concept of a whale, it is this small, like 1 to 5% of a game's population that spends like 95% of the money. Where there are those folks out there that will just keep spending and spending and spending so that they're always max and they have the best. And that's what keeps most games in the mobile game industry afloat are the whales.
And the problem is that they spend so much money that even when people like Josh and I, who spent a little bit of money on something like Marvel Strike Force, us leaving has no bearing to them. They don't care.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And that's what stinks. But it's like, that's what I'm saying, like even something as simple as Star Wars Galaxy of Hero or Marvel Strike Force, which are like these fun little quick iPhone, iPad, mobile games. Do you remember what our screen time was when we were looking at it?
It's too much. And here's the thing: is it the companies or is it us? Because we always have the ability to not need that skin, but I mean, obviously they're using psychology to try to get us to want that.
Absolutely,
I don't agree. I don't agree. I don't agree with that. Like, I don't agree. I want to be able to go into. It's like, let's look at Super Mario, right? Like, I want to go into Super Mario and I want to beat the boss of Super Mario, and I want to practice it and I want to play it, but I don't. The situation it's in now that it's like I want to play Marvel Strike Force and I really want to get Miles Morales Spider-Man, and in order to get Miles Morales because he's really cool, I have to put in 2 weeks of 100 hours of screen time. I can't just get it. And to me, that's really different because they could be like, well, if you play for 10 hours, that's enough. You can have Miles. Log in and have Miles. And the thing is, I would still be playing Marvel Strike Force if I was able to keep up with getting the cool characters without having to be a super player. I would still be playing it.
Right. So I think that they feed off of, I agree with Josh. I think that they use a lot of psychology. I mean, psychology has been used in marketing heavily for a long time. And I think that in these instances, they're also playing off of like the whole sunk cost fallacy. If you've put so much time into this game, you should keep putting more and more time into it because you've come so far. Or you have spent all this time, this should just become your game And you should therefore devote more time to it and more money to it and buy those extra skins to make you look really cool, which then gives you a little personal justification and feel really neat having all of the super cool stuff.
Yeah, and I'm just saying I feel like everybody's doing that, and it really
Mm-hmm.
bums me out because there's too many fun things that I want to be part of, and I'm feeling bad.
Yeah.
That's where I am.
Yeah, and that's not a good feeling. And I'm wondering if there's going to be a lot of pushback of that at some point in time, but I don't really think so.
I don't think so either.
I think it's they see that it's a way to make a lot of money, and also having a larger fan base and more dedicated players that are longer term players. They're also going to come to your defense more, right? They now you might get like there's plenty of communities where the longtime players can be some of the more vociferous and outspoken people. But I think they are the long term players that ultimately, by and large, are like, yeah, no, this is a good game, or I saw it when it was a worse state. You guys should be cool with this, you know. So I think it's also a way to help shield them, the companies, a little bit by building that player base to help also promote their
But
games.
do you also feel that way about like Netflix and Hulu and Disney Plus, and do you feel like this factionalism is happening where it's like I'm a Netflix World of Warcraft person and that's the crowd, and you're gonna have a hard time getting along with a Disney Plus Eve person. You know what I mean?
There's some people there. I've definitely talked to some people that will poo poo on Hulu or Amazon Prime or something. But I don't think it's nearly the same because there's no gratification out of being a fanboy for Netflix, in my
Yeah.
opinion. Whereas you get something out of playing these video games. You get those little dopamine hits, right? And no one gets a dopamine hit from shutting off Netflix or turning it off.
True. It's just there's so much content that they're putting out on Netflix
Right.
that if you were to get the best value for your money, you would never be able to turn Netflix off because there's no like they're just keeping so much content that it could be 100% of your content uh, source. I just worry that factionalism and corporationism in mobile gaming and online gaming is starting to lead to a fragmented society and fragmented hobbyism, and that concerns me.
Right. Well, I mean, at least here in the US, there's a lot more of picking teams and picking sides. I don't know if that has
Yeah.
anything to do with it. Everyone has to be for or against something. Everyone has to be on a team or blue team.
Yeah.
Or blood, blue or red, huh?
Blue or number two.
I just like I never felt even when I was playing like Diablo a lot or um, when I think back to I don't know, let's try to pick a year. Let's say before Farmville came out. So before the iPhone, right? I spent a lot of time playing Diablo 2, but I never felt like I missed out on something when I switched to playing Halo. And now when I switch from playing Fallout 76 to playing Eve, I actually feel bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, those games were a lot more static though back then.
But I still played the heck out of I still played hours and hours and hours of them. It's not like I played less of them.
Yeah, but do you know that there's certain things that you can get out of games now
Right.
that you couldn't get before? I mean, you could always keep playing Diablo to get that chance of getting that next awesome weapon or piece of armor. But you already know that's the game. Whereas now it's like, oh, there's this holiday event, or oh, there's this special quest that's only a limited time, or this raid is only here for a month, or whatever it is. You feel almost obligated to play your games now, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Shiva doesn't care what team you're on as long as you're for the Imperium, because if you're not, he has to cleanse you, As a heretic.
What if you're Eldar though? That's still heretical.
Yeah, they're not for the Imperium, are they?
Depends on which story you're reading.
What stories are they on the Empire side?
Anytime the Tyranids show up.
Okay, that's an alliance out of necessity, very differently, or very different.
Is there any race that does faster than life travel that doesn't have to deal with the Geller stuff?
I think the Eldar travel through warp gates.
Don't the Necrons?
Necrons, I think, do something similar.
Nids just don't have to worry about it. They just send their hive fleets out and they get there when they get there, right?
Yep.
What do you think Tyranids do on the hive fleets all day while they're waiting, hundreds of years to get to a planet?
They don't. They're just all biomass until they get.
Have you ever seen Stargate Atlantis?
Yes. Love that show.
That's what they do. They sleep in pods.
Okay. No, really, Josh, that they're just biomass and then they get pooped out of the hive fleet? Really?
Yep.
Huh. Are they like gestating, or is it more like a caterpillar turning into a butterfly and they just like
I'm not sure. There might be some bio creatures that are actually on the ship, but there's no reason for that. If you think about how the Tyranids go, they just create what's needed at the time, and then at the end everything just gets absorbed back into biomass.
That's super pointless and annoying.
Why?
Because they're not writing poetry or contributing to culture.
They're contributing
at least chaos is contributing to culture.
Oh man, now I want to see a Tyranid like do some Shakespeare. That would be great. Oh man, I want to see that. Are there that's the other thing is when it comes to Black Library and books, how many books are there about the Tyranids? Because I imagine that has to be kind of boring third person sort of stuff.
It could be.
Like what?
How many books? How many books are from the Tyranid perspective? You mean?
Right. Yeah.
What if it was
just books full of screeching and like clicking sounds?
It's all just psychic hive mind. It's just the first page is like if you don't know what this says, you're not a Tyranid.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Oh no, the gun fell off. Why did you do that, gun? I think I need to magnetize this.
Is it already
you didn't magnetize it yet?
No, these guns fit pretty good.
Pretty good.
But not a hundo.
But not a hundo. I think it's coming along. Where's a better spot to put it? Definitely not done. It's definitely got more work to do on it, but we are at 90 minutes, and I'm at a good spot to stop because I just put a bunch of contrast paint on that needs to sit.
We're really at 90 minutes already?
Yeah, it's been an hour and a half.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Absolutely.
I guess so.
Hope everyone else had fun watching and hanging out with us.
So, okay, so really quick, Josh, let's see the progress that you've gotten.
Okay. I did that. And this.
Looking good. All right, if I scroll up, who's next? Up, I'm next on the big camera. So I got him done to that point, and I got a bunch of the silver done on the other one, which is pretty good. And I did some pre-work on the base, but I got the base finished for one of the dreadnoughts. I need to print another one. And then lastly,
I did a whole bunch of silver work that you guys probably can't really. They're just like, oh yeah, did some silver swipes, but there's so much silver details and there's lots in the the little crevices here and all this. One of the reasons why I hate this model is every time you think you finished a port, you find another crevice or another detail on here.
Dude, it's silver. It's annoying.
It's so awful.
Silver
but I made some progress.
Yep. Okay. Well, thank you all so much for joining us again on this Paint and Chat for this Wednesday. We are going to be starting a D&D campaign. If that is interesting to you, it's going to be grimdark. It's going to be great. There's going to be vampires. There's going to be vampire wannabes. If you've made it all the way to this point in an hour and a half long live stream, thank you so much. If you are not already a subscriber, please subscribe and check us out on Discord. And Shivan, I know I will fix the Discord link. We will take care of that right now as soon as I end the chat. We will make sure that you get into the Discord. And as always,
we'll see you on the
Dungeons and Dragons table.
I love it.
Yeah.